The truth about dating an Indian man. When I first posted that I was dating an Indian man, the internet had a lot to say. Some people were incredibly supportive. Some people welcomed me into the culture, calling me Bhabhi Ji. But there was also a lot of warnings, like be careful, Indian culture is very traditional, his parents won't accept you, you have to change a lot of who you are. And at first, I didn't know what to believe, because if you've never experienced Indian culture before, the internet can make it sound terrifying. So today I'm going to talk honestly what has been true for me and what hasn't, and what nobody tells you about dating an Indian man. First things first, not every relationship is the same, not every Indian family is the same, and this is simply my experience. The first stereotypes, Indian families won't accept you. This was probably the biggest thing people warned me about, especially because I'm not Indian, and people assumed that his family would never accept a foreigner girl, a Gori. Now I'm not going to pretend that these situations don't exist. There are definitely families, especially among older generations, who still hold more traditional beliefs about relationships and marriages. So yes, for some couples, it can be very difficult. But I also think that the internet sometimes forgets how quickly India is changing, especially in bigger cities. Many families now are completely happy for their children to choose who they marry, even if they come from another culture. That was my experience. His family welcomed me from day one. They were curious about Brazil, they wanted to learn more about my culture, and that made me feel very included. So when people say to me, did his parents accept you because you're white? Honestly, they accepted me because they accepted me, not because of my skin color, and I am incredibly grateful for that. Dating an Indian man isn't just flowers and Bollywood. And one thing, not everything is perfect. Every relationship has challenges. When two people grow up in different countries and cultures, sometimes those differences become very obvious. One thing I've noticed is that my boyfriend is incredibly strong-minded. When he has an opinion, he has an opinion. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but if you're also a stubborn person, sometimes those cultures can clash. I grew up in Brazil, so certain things were completely normal, while for him, who grew up in Punjabi family, some things were completely different. So you quickly realize that love doesn't magically erase cultural differences. You have to communicate those differences through. Punjabi culture. Now, this is where I have to talk about Punjabis, because if you know, you know. Punjabis have a reputation. Cars, fashion, looking good. And honestly, my boyfriend has more clothes than me. I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes I open the wardrobe and I'm convinced I've accidentally moved in with a fashion designer. He's definitely got opinions on style. And sometimes he'll say, you're not wearing that. And I will say, actually, I am. This is my life. This is real life. So yeah, it is funny, and this is where those things can clash. But this is where you learn where to compromise, because your cultural differences can bring those clashes, so you just have to talk it through. Like in Brazil, we will wear very revealing clothes. In India, you won't, but right now you live in UK, or you might live in America. So over here is okay to wear more exposing clothes. So it should be about how you feel wearing those things. Obviously, when we are with his family, I will have to adapt and respectfully wear more clothes of his family culture, you know? So it's about that adaptation that you have to do when you're going into another country. For example, when I'm around his family in India, I probably wouldn't sit drinking alcohol, because that's not something very usual within Indian families to drink in front of the older generation. So I wouldn't do that, while back home in Brazil, I can definitely have a glass of wine in front of my family. So I feel like that's what it is all about, and those are the things that maybe people warn about. But if you're smart and if you love someone, it's just about being able to adapt in the right environment, depending where you are, because that's what respect is, but also doing that without losing yourself, without losing your opinions. Next thing that really surprised me, in many Western countries, dating can last for years, and nobody will ask the same questions that the Indian families will ask on the first day of meeting you. When are you going to marriage? Because especially among the older generation, dating has a purpose. which is marriage. So when you introduce to the family, people won't necessarily see you as the girlfriend, they will see you as the future wife, which means that people don't wait very long at all to ask you when is the marriage, when is the wedding, and they will ask you very directly, especially in Indian households. So if you are someone who doesn't want marriage and isn't looking to settle down, that level of expectation might be overwhelming. For me, it was definitely a cultural shock, but I knew that I do love my partner enough that I do want to marry. That question can be a little bit too much. The biggest thing I've learned, dating someone from another culture isn't about deciding who is right. It's about deciding what works for the two of you. Sometimes I adapt, sometimes he adapts. And sometimes we disagree completely. Sometimes we laugh about it. Every relationship requires compromise. Ours just happens to include two different cultures as well that we have to juggle in between. What surprised me the most isn't the differences, is the similarities as well. Family love, hospitality, food, wanting guests to feel welcomed, looking after the people we love. Some things that really remind me of Brazil and back home, and I think that's why I always felt very comfortable around his family. Maybe it would have been different if I'm European, but because I'm Brazilian, I think there is a lot of similarities as well. So, is dating an Indian man difficult? My answer is dating anyone from another culture comes with challenges. There will be misunderstanding, there will be compromises, but there will be moments where you both think, wait, what's normal where you're from and where I'm from, so you understand the other person's perspectives. But there's also moments that you will realize how similar you are. At the end of the day, that's why you're together. Brazil isn't one culture, India isn't one culture, Britain isn't just one culture. Every family is different. Every relationship is different. Every person is different. So it's about adapting in the right time without losing yourself and losing who you are. It's about patience, communication, compromise. And love isn't just about finding someone exactly like you. It's about building something together despite the differences. So yeah, that's it. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what are your experiences dating. Thank you. Bye-bye.